Hello and welcome to Ecoholics. So once again, we are resuming the live session due to its popular demand, and we are again meeting here on this platform. And now we'll discuss about the inflation. So recently, you know that there was a meeting of Reserve Bank of India, Monetary Policy Committee meeting, and in that Monetary Policy Committee meeting, they have decided to hold the rate of interest, that is the repo rate. So there was no change in the repo rate. It means that RBI is thinking that there must be a chances of inflation in near future. So this is the main agenda of the RBI, and what they want, that the inflation should remain under control. So it was actually a shock given by RBI, shocking news, because everyone was expecting that MPC would actually decrease the repo rate. But what happened, that for the financial year 2020, that is 2019-20, they have cut the growth rate, and according to RBI's point of view, the growth rate of 2019-20 will be 5% according to RBI estimates. Now there are other data released by RBI, like if you see H2, it means second half of the 2019-20, that is from October to March. In this October to March, what they are expecting, that inflation forecast would remain between 4.7% to 5.1%. So this is the expectation from the, we can say, Reserve Bank of India, that inflation may go up, and that is the unanimous decision by the Monetary Policy Committee to actually do not change the repo rate. While we can say the stance of the RBI is still accommodative. So here accommodative means they will be watchful, they will keep an eye on the inflation, and that is the main topic that we are discussing. So today's agenda is that what about the decisions of the RBI, and what RBI was thinking about the inflation is correct or not correct. So this is the agenda of today's discussion, and this is helpful for the examination purpose. Now here, in order to understand the inflation, we need to see the trend, and in examination, trends are important. Whenever you see, questions are coming on the basis of trends. So here you can see that what kind of trend that inflation is giving. Now if you see the post policy speech by the Reserve Bank of India governor was saying that they have actually kept the same repo rate just because the food prices are expected to go up. Obviously, you know that inflation is of two types. That's the basic economics, that inflation is of two types. Number one, we can say the headline inflation, and the another one is the core inflation. So under the headline inflation, which is generally we include the perishable items, and all the other items will come under headline inflation. But under core inflation, we exclude the, we can say, the items which are more volatile. So we do not include food, we do not include the oil prices, we not include like other perishable goods. Generally food or oil, crude oil, are the two important thing that is not the part of the core inflation. Now you can see that there is a sharp increase in the headline inflation, but not so much in the core inflation. So RBI is again watchful that headline inflation may go up in the near future. Although we can say that we are expecting that repo rate should go down, just because India's growth rate needs certain kind of boost. So apart from this, if you see the core inflation, which still remain under 4%, and this is the target that RBI, the MPC, that is Monetary Policy Committee, has been taking, that 4% is the best target for inflation, with plus minus 2%. It means upper limit is 6% and lower limit is 2%. Now according to Monetary Policy Committee, what they are saying, according to Monetary Policy Committee, that they are saying that the telecom sector tariff is going up, so that is why the expectation of the future price rise is always there. Apart from this, they have given other reasons as well, like the transportation sector. So transportation sector, the prices are going up. The health sector, the prices are seeing that the upward trend. So we can say that health and education particularly. So due to these factors, the MPC is predicting that prices will go up so that the inflation will also go up. That is the expectation of the Reserve Bank of India. Now if we diagnose the particular point, the main point here comes from the government side, that is the fiscal side. Now you know that there is a chances or potential that fiscal slippages will be there. Fiscal slippages means government of India will not be able to maintain the fiscal deficit target. So here fiscal slippages means the target of fiscal deficit, we are not able to maintain that. So that may trigger the inflation. So here fiscal slippages means the problem from the government's perspective due to less amount of revenue and more expenditure. So that is why the unanimous decision of the Monetary Policy Committee to set the inflation at the same level. Now apart from this, why inflationary expectations are important? If you see the household investment or inflation, the household inflation expectation is obviously very high. In the next 2-3 months, it is expected that the household inflation will up by 120 basis point. 120 basis point means around 1.2%. The household inflation will go up. And here if you see that 1 year ahead from the December 2019, it is expected to increase at 180 basis point. It means approximately 1.8%. So that is the expectation that inflation may go up in near future, and food inflation will also go up. So here we are saying that in December, a monetary policy committee meeting, monetary policy committee is seeing future from, we can say, from the perspective of a long term. That is why they have kept the interest rate as it is. So it was an unanimous decision by the MPC to pause the rate this time due to inflation forecast. Now here if we think from the fiscal perspective, now fiscal perspective, well, we can say that the government is not able to maintain the target of fiscal deficit. So this is very difficult for this point of view. We can say fiscal deficit, this time government is not able to maintain the target just because of heavy tax cut as well as the expenditure policy by the government of India. So these are the major two reasons. That is why revenue collection is not up to the mark. What are the solutions? Solutions for that is that government should increase the revenue. So maybe you will expect certain increase in the GST rates, GST council that will decide on the GST rates, so there may increase. Apart from this, the telecom tariff obviously increasing, so telecom sector will obviously get certain amount of income, and that will be actually helpful for the government of India as well, because there's a large amount of deficit that government is struggling. Also the telecom companies are also facing. Like for example, if you see Gas Authority of India Limited, GAIL, they have raised the gas prices recently because they haven't have any choice, that they had to increase the prices of gas. Apart from this, if you see the GST collection is meager from the point of view the government of India as well as the state governments, because states are not getting enough compensation right now. So government of India has to review the compensation cess rate as well as the tax rates. And here we can say exempted items should also be included. Apart from this, from the state's point of view, they may increase the VAT, especially on the fuel, petroleum, because they are also facing the pressure of revenue. It means from all over the place, government is struggling with the perfect revenue collection. And that is why they are sacrificing on the capital expenditure, which is called the capex. So capital expenditure is somewhat, we can say, compromising. Apart from this, the revenue triggers are obviously visible, especially struggle of the automobile industry. Automobile industry are saying that from January 2020 they are increasing the prices just because they are not able to maintain that particular mismatch of revenue as well as the expenditure. So that is my personal advice. If you want to buy a car, you can buy a car in December 2019. This is the best time. You'll get the best prices, you'll get the heavy discount if you are thinking about buying car. Because I bought car in September 2017 just because at that particular time there was a hike in the GST cess, so I got the benefit of around 1.5 lakh on that car. So this is the best time, and if you are thinking about buying a car, this is the best time, December 2019, because from April 2020 we are switching towards Bharat stage norm 6th. So you'll get the vehicles at very high prices in comparison to the currently, so you can buy the vehicles. Now coming on to the topic once again, that if you see the tax increase, there must be expectation that government will increase the tax rate. Obviously this would be the one time increase in the cost, so there won't be any effect on the inflation, because one time tax does not have any impact on the inflation. If you see the expectation, rising inflation expectation, that is from the RBI's point of view, RBI is thinking about the spiral. Now spiral is downward as well as upward. It means simple, like if inflation goes up, what will happen? The prices, that is what we call the prices. It means that people will demand more money, so income will go up. What will happen to government? Government has to spend more in salaries, etc. Government expenditure will go up. Again, expenditure goes up, less revenue, so deficit. So this is a, we can say, spiral. Obviously if you have seen the copy with the spiral binding, so that is what we call, that is the main fear of Reserve Bank of India, that government of India can actually may experience this in near future. Now another feature behind the food inflation is that the inefficient supply management. Supply management, especially we can say the prices of onion, tomato, or we can say pulses. So these are the three major commodities, we can say, and vegetables that India is expecting the rise in the prices that may anticipate certain kind of shocks in near future. But here the main problem comes from the cost tax pressure. What is cost tax pressure? It means by increasing the tax rate by GST or via income tax, we are increasing the cost of the businesses. Again, cost of the businesses are going up. It means they are eroding the profitability of the business. If you are eroding the profitability of the business, it means tax collection would be low. So that is the main reason, that is the spiral that RBI is talking about in their monetary policy committee report. So this is a major thing, like according to me or according to other experts, RBI is over expecting the inflation rate. And this time, because India is experiencing subdued growth, especially in the Q1 of 2019-20, the growth rate was 5%. In the Q2 of 2019-20, which starts from July to October, the growth rate was 4.5%. So you can understand that successive 9 quarters, India has been successive 6 quarters, India has been experiencing the decline in the GDP growth rate. And that is why I was expecting that the repo rate should be decreased. But that is the main discretion of the Monetary Policy Committee, and unanimously means all the 6 members voted for the pause in the interest rates. So here we can say the only option left with us is to raise the taxes to actually fill the gap between the expenditure and the revenue of the government. So major sources is the tax may go up, and otherwise if you are not able to do that, that may result into stagflation. And this is a situation very worse, because stagflation means economy is stagnant and experiencing inflation. So no increase in the output, but still the prices are going up. So that is just because of the supply side problem, especially in the food grains market. So here this is the main area that we had discussed. Here we can say The taxes, obviously we cannot increase the taxes beyond a particular point. But here we need to think that repo rate obviously has certain kind of limitations as well. Like for example, the repo rate is having the problem of liquidity trap. So you must have heard about the concept of liquidity trap. So there's a limitation for the repo rate as well, and limitation of the tax increase as well. Like you must have seen the Laffer curve. So here government has to think that how we can increase the supply by giving boost to demand. A simple economics. So we need to increase the demand which is already contracted just by increasing the government spending, the private spending, we can say, the net export that we can increase by giving incentives. Generally government should give boost to startups as well as the businesses, because businesses will grow, obviously GDP will grow, and they will give more tax so that revenue will come. So that is what we call the tax buoyancy. So obviously this is the main point I was making in this lecture. If you have any doubt, most welcome, and I'll wait for 2 minutes for your doubts. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the comment section. Otherwise we'll wind up the session. So again we are starting this live session series from 10:30 p.m. I was out of the town, there was a lot of traveling, so wasn't able to continue for that. So we're again starting from Monday to Saturday. We'll do daily live session at 10:30 p.m. regarding the current economic discussion and analysis. Here it is helpful for other examinations like especially UPSC, the RBI examination, and the examinations for the banking where you have to write one essay or etc. So this will help you especially in the IAS examination and Indian Economic Service examination. Apart from this, we have started a new batch of Indian Economic Services that would be the last batch for 2020 examination. We have started from 1st of December. Economics optional batch is already running, that also started from 15th of November, and the UGC net economics batch that we are starting from 23rd of December. So these are the information of the batches. You can visit our website ecoholics.in, and for that you will find the link in the description. So ecoholics.in, here you will find the details of the courses. Otherwise you can contact on the number that is 91098777292. So here you will find Sujata ma'am, and she will explain about the courses that are available on the Ecoholics. Apart from this, we are starting with the course this time with RBI grade B DPR course. So this course will start from 6th of January 2020, and this course will focus on the microeconomics, the macroeconomics, the mainly econometrics, the mathematical economics. Generally they ask this much, and apart from this sometimes they also ask the questions on the reports as well as Indian economy, current Indian economy. So these are the 5 major pillars for Department of Economic Policy and Research RBI grade B examination. So move on to the doubts. Yes, so Pranay is asking that you were saying about some curves just now. Can you just repeat please? Yes Pranay. What I was saying that repo rate is having certain kind of limitation, like this is the part of monetary policy. Monetary policy struggles with the problem of liquidity trap. You must have studied in macroeconomics, Keynesian economics, that is liquidity trap. Apart from this, if you see the taxes, so in the taxes they suffer from the problems of the Laffer curve. Laffer curve means when we increase, so I'll write for you, don't worry. So the liquidity trap, and the Arthur Laffer gave this curve. So I'll make this curve, don't worry, just wait a minute. So under liquidity trap we'll discuss this and the Laffer curve. So these are the two curves. So here under liquidity trap, here we have the rate of interest. So we can say, suppose the repo rate, and here we have the growth. So how the growth will occur, or growth in the liquidity. So suppose for example, we have the rate here. So we have the rate, suppose 5% repo rate, and here we have the growth in the economy is 200 quantity, so 200 is the output. Now suppose for example RBI decrease the rate from 5% to 4%. Obviously by decreasing the rate there must be increase in the output, suppose 300. Now further, suppose RBI will decrease the rate to 3%. What will happen? This will be like this. So it means if we decrease one more, it has increased to 600 units. But if you increase beyond, if you decrease beyond 3%, it means 2%, 1%, then will go to infinity. So this is what we call the liquidity trap curve, LT we can say, and this will go to infinity. So it becomes that monetary policy is ineffective. Now here we can say on the Laffer curve, this is tax revenue, and here we have the tax rate. Suppose for example we are increasing the tax rate, like for example here we have the zero tax rate, here we have suppose 10%, and here we have 100%. So now suppose this is 50%, this is 25, and this is 75. Suppose the tax rate is 25, so if we move from 0 to this direction, your tax revenue goes up like this. So your tax revenue goes up, and this will be top at 50%. So this is the top revenue. And if you increase the tax beyond this point, your tax revenue will fall like this. Why? Because suppose for example you are earning 10 lakh rupees per annum and the government is imposing tax 50%. It means 5 lakh rupees you have to pay in the tax. Obviously if government will increase 75% to or other, so what will you do? You will obviously start hiding your income. So that is why the tax revenue goes down. So that is the concept of the Laffer curve, and I've explained the concept of the liquidity trap. So I hope you understand this. If you have any doubt further, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll wind up the session. So follow us on social media, especially on Instagram account, where we provide daily one concept of economics like related terms. Apart from this, we provide daily questions on ecoholics.in, that is our Instagram account name. Apart from this website, on our website, you can visit our website. You can directly contact me on this number. And if you want to write something, you can write on our email address. So that's it. Thank you for tuning in. So we are meeting tomorrow. That's it. And thank you for tuning in. And please don't forget to subscribe Ecoholics, because if you subscribe, you'll get the notification of the live session. So once again, thank you for tuning in, and thank you for subscribing Ecoholics. Till then, thank you so much. Good night.